What's this, 3 or 4?
If you count our introductory one on New Year's Eve day, I think this would be number 4.
Awesome.
4 or 5, something like that. I don't know, something like that.
I think it's 4 because we said it was 3 last week, and here we are.
Here we are.
Hello, Facebook.
Hello, Facebook and YouTube.
Oh,
I figured I'd throw it in there, right in there at the beginning.
All right, go ahead. Spill the beans.
Well, before we get to that, we're teasing it a little bit, but maybe we should introduce ourselves. You can see by our names on our screen there who we are. But that's for those of you who already know us. If you don't know us, I'm Joe, Dr. Energy Piazza.
I'm Catherine Asaro Myers, affectionately known as Rara. When I walk into the room, I say Rara is in the house. Yeah.
Nice. So, we bring our energy, who we are is what we bring to any situation, to any experience. So we want to be intentional about how we're bringing ourselves into any experience, into these live streams. So
I'm sitting in Niagara-on-the-Lake. I'm sitting in the chair in my bridge room, but I'm in Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario, Canada. So for those of you who are visiting from different parts of the world, if you have any connections to Niagara-on-the-Lake, shoot me some information so I could meet somebody new, or maybe introduce you to someone. It doesn't have to be local, but we're new here, so we're setting our roots, planting our seeds. It's a fun place.
Awesome. And I'm in Ottawa, then Canada, the capital of Canada.
You're so official.
Yeah, I think the last thing that I am is in my life is probably official.
All right, it's the last. We'll start at the bottom. What are you? The last thing you are is official. Then working our way up.
Well, the first thing is Dr. Energy.
That's right. And you're fun.
I have a lot of fun. I like to have fun when whatever I do, it helps me keep my energy up and upbeat. And I like to surround myself with beautiful things. Yeah.
I thought you would like talking about me.
Oh, yeah, of course. Present company included.
Oh, good. Thank you. Just thought I'd jump in there in case you didn't say it. Talk about a little histrionic.
I thought that was a given.
Disorder. Yeah. Look at me. Look at me. I'm here. Make sure you're looking at me. So when you're on, I just want to say when you're on a Facebook Live, if you're new to doing them or you're not new to doing them, you're looking at your audience. There's a camera, there's a screen if you want to see how you look. But when I'm looking at the camera, I'm looking at you. When I'm looking at the screen, you can tell I'm not. If I'm looking at my notes, it depends on how you have everything set up. Make sure I see the lights are in my lens here. So I'm moving over here so they're not. It's like, oh, look at that. Oh, look at all those things we have.
The light that you can see in your lens is actually your computer monitor. It's not your actual lights.
Oh. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's why I use dark mode on my in my browser and in most of my app settings, so that when I am online, it's not quite as bright. Like you can see it just
right. I see it.
Where is it? Right there, a little bit, but it's because I turned the brightness down on my monitors as well. It's not. You don't see it quite. It doesn't reflect quite as much.
I don't normally.
And also because you have the lenses that go dark, they reflect the light. They show the reflection a little bit more than if they were clear. So
yeah, they're constantly dark. They never light.
Yeah. So, but I know that helps. I know that that's for your eyes for the computer, so it makes it better.
Yes. Yes. So when you are live, think about all the things that we're talking about to keep yourself looking natural, being relaxed. Don't let that light. I don't like that light there, man. I'm gonna fix that somehow. All right. Well, you got to watch all those things.
Play with it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. You got to watch all those things when you're doing a live to make sure that the presentation is easy to look at. Otherwise, It looks like I've got something going on.
And actually, the most important part about video is actually the audio. Most people, and I know myself included, I can put up with some less than amazing video if the audio is really good. But if the audio is choppy and stuttery or echoey, I'm out of there.
And we played with that. So I'll give you a test sample if you're listening. So here we are. Here's our mic. if we forget and move around, or if we go closer,
go really close, you can have the radio voice.
It sounds much better.
Or if you go further away.
Like that.
Exactly.
You don't want to lean in when you're in front of the camera like that, because it looks like
you could be like an old-time singer and cradle your microphone and right up to your mouth and talk like this. But then if you talk too much, you can hear it when I tap on it. So
what are those, crooners? What were those called? Crooners. So when you're doing your live, think about how you look and how you sound.
Yes.
Because like Dr. Energy said, if the sound isn't good, you're probably out of here real fast. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
and how many times have we said this? I know you were just going to hop in. Let me just say this. How many times have you said this on a Zoom? Can you hear me? Oh my God. Overly used.
If you want to be professional on a Zoom, make sure you test your settings ahead of time and then just start speaking when it's your turn to speak. If you have to ask, can you hear me every single time? That means either you're not prepared, you don't know how the settings are working, you're not sure if you've muted or unmuted your mic. So go for that. Hey, Ingrid, she's back.
Oh, hi, Ingrid. Thank you for being here with us.
Just in time for our announcement. So, Catherine, why don't you? I've got the little thing ready. Why don't you go ahead and make the actual announcement?
What are you referring to as a little thing ready?
Oh, I've prepared a little something here.
Okay, it's nice for me to know. Okay.
There we go.
All right, there we go. So we have a YouTube channel. We just gave birth. Yeah. Okay, YouTube channel. 2 days ago, 48 hours ago, we decided to give birth to a YouTube channel. Well, we decided a long time ago, but we decided to do this in the month of part of our business plan was to go live in January. And if you've never gone live or opened up a YouTube channel, there are some things that you need to do and need to know. So you open it up, you have some requirements. We're in the process of developing and still designing it. Mm-hmm. But what's important is to have 100 subscribers so that you could customize your channel. And what that means is we can name it. And we would love to ask you to subscribe and hit that little bell, because that bell will give you a notification when we do go live.
Exactly.
So
or even just post a video. It doesn't even have to be live.
Right, exactly. So tell us the setup right now about the connection to Facebook and YouTube.
So basically, with this particular software that we're using, we are going live directly to Facebook. In the future, we'll be able to go live directly to Facebook and YouTube at the same time if we so desire. I just posted the link in the comments for our YouTube channel. So if you'd like to go there, hit the subscribe button and then ding the bell. And so you'll get the notifications when we post a new video or we go live. We'd really, really appreciate that. And we're going to be taking some of the videos from here and putting them all in one place on YouTube, some playlists and that type of thing, so that you don't actually have to try and search through old posts on Facebook to find what you're looking for.
I feel like we should have had an audible there with a bell. Ding the bell. And there's a song, right?
Ring my bell. Can't go too far because of copyright.
Okay.
But.
Right. But if you had a bell, that would be like subscribe and ring the bell so that you know what we're doing and what we're up to.
Exactly. Yes, so Ingrid, Zoom is like a seance, isn't it?
So we're here to speak about different subjects, and the topics, we did give you a sneak peek at that last week. So the topics that we're here to discuss today, or the topic, is about 4 habits.
Would you like to do the first one?
Okay, sure. I'll read what it is. And 4 habits of people who are always learning new skills. So if you're always learning a new skill.
5. We're actually going to cover 5. We're giving you a bonus one.
Okay, bonus. So we'll start with 4 and we'll add the 5th one. Focus on emerging skills. I love that. I love that you're so organized. So I'll read a little bit and then I'll talk a little bit. With so many learning options available these days, people are often tempted to simply go to Google. You can voice it. You can type in general search terms and start one of the first courses that pops up. That's a waste of time. Job requirements are quickly evolving. To ensure relevance, you need to focus on learning the latest emerging skills. You can do this in a couple of ways. First, track what skills the leaders in your industry are looking for. You can look at recent job postings. Some people are doing that right now from the top companies and see which qualifications keep popping up. Second, you could reach out to people like I did to so many of you, to asking you to go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can reach out to people in your network personally or on LinkedIn who have the job that you want. If you want to know what sales and skills and technologies are becoming important, talk to the high-level salespeople. It's fun to talk to salespeople. They'll give you a really interesting perspective. Ask them what they're having to learn to keep succeeding at their work and what skills they think someone needs to acquire in order to become a viable candidate. So when you speak to someone in sales, you're going to hear probably more than likely how important it is to be engaging, how engaging is a key component in the job as opposed to the aspect of what's behind the scenes. So when you speak to salespeople, in case you're not an extrovert or that doesn't resonate with you, that's what you're going to hear. So if you're looking at sales, expect to hear that. You may feel intimidated about reaching out. Is that you? Do you feel intimidated? Do you know someone who feels intimidated? I mean, like, yeah, that's me. That's me. I don't want to reach out. But I found that most of the time people are happy to share information. They want to see more and more capable candidates filling jobs and staying on top of the trends. You want the person that is doing a job to be someone that's suitable for it. You don't want them just to be there because they're doing it. You ever go somewhere and you wonder, like, why are you in that job? Why did you choose that? Because if you did it for the money, it maybe isn't a good idea. As you get a sense of the most important skills to learn, ask these experts what they recommend, what specific online courses. I love that, online courses, 3 magical words or 2 magical words for us, with practical value. Also take a close look at course descriptions and find content that will be useful either on the job or that provides new word I just make up, provides the most academic insight. And we can talk to you about that because we publish online courses and we do give descriptions about that. So you might want to talk about that a little bit more in depth with us. So for instance, you might seek instructors who are leading experts in your industry or content created in conjunction with companies that you admire. So not too much, I don't want to give a plug too much about us, but since we are content creators and course creators, and we do have online courses, you might want to speak to us if you're looking to make a choice in your work field. And if you want to know about a course that we currently have out, publication, for you to purchase, I have to tell you the price because I think it's so cool. It's 2021. Kelsey Freeze. It's called The Process. So if you're interested to learn a little bit more about that, please go to www.b-u.network/The Process.
Awesome. So let me share, and I'm not going to say more about the first tip because you cover that so well, and I don't think I need to add anything. So I won't.
Thank you. Thank you.
The second one, get synchronous. And what does this mean? In our current digital era, it's easy to connect with people where they're at, whether it be on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Signal, Telegram, WhatsApp, YouTube, whatever it is. That's asynchronous. It means you're trading and people are asking questions and you're getting back to them at a time that's convenient, and then they're reading it at a time that's convenient for them. And that's all well and good, but to really create, easy for me to say, in order to really create that connection with somebody, we need to get synchronous. We need to get in real time with them. So whether you want to do that with Zoom or any other digital platform that's out there, you can do live video calls on Slack. You can do live video calls through other platforms. Get synchronous, even if it's just a phone call or a FaceTime call if you're on Apple, or a Duo call if you're on Android. Just literally get in somebody's face and start building that connection with them. The importance of that cannot be overstated. when we start to build those relationships, it's so important to be able to have eye contact with people. So get in real time with people.
Very well said.
Thank you.
I'll leave that as you said it, and I will move on.
Sure.
Let's talk about implement learning immediately. All right. I have a lot to say about this. So research shows that performing the task you've learned is crucial. Performing the task you've learned is crucial because enactment enhances memory by serving as an elaborative encoding strategy. This is part of the problem engineers face when looking for jobs. Straight out of college, they've been stuck in theory land with little experience putting what they've learned into practice. So you can run into the same issue with online learning. I just have to talk about send-out cards for a second. You can watch videos, you can listen to people, you can watch people send cards. If you don't put your hands in the system and click the buttons and go to live chat and make a mistake or fix it, you will not learn. Now, you may be an audible learner, but you still need to actually apply it. So for example, I could spend weeks watching videos on how to set up a distributed computing system. Like, why would I want to do that? But if I don't go to Amazon Web Services and deploy it soon, I'll forget much of what I learned. So whatever field you're studying, find the opportunity to use your new skills. In addition to increasing stickiness, this also gives you a chance to participate in a collaborative project at work. For example, if you set up your own project on a small scale at home, you could find an online simulation that's similar to a real experience. I'll use send-out cards because it's, so natural to me. If something new is in the system or any system, it could be your CRM system. If you're not going to go in there and work with it, maybe you read directions, maybe you listen to the videos and you've done that for a day, a week, a month. If you don't go in there and apply it,
right,
you won't necessarily know how it works. Have you ever hired an architect? We have. The design was magnificent. And then we hire the contractor. And then we go to build it. But the design and the application of using it, and then put the end user in who says, well, I didn't see it like that. You need to go out and implement it. So if you are an online junkie, oh gosh, go out and take the next step.
Right.
I encourage you to do that.
Beautiful. Yes. And I'm going to, at the end, towards the end of this, I'm going to summarize, give you an example of how we, and myself specifically, have put all 4 of these things into practice just this week. So I'll give you a real life example of it. All right, let's get on to number 4. Number 4, set a golden benchmark. In other words, what's your objective? Where do you want to go? Why are you learning something new? For ourselves, we got into launching launching YouTube channel this week because we have an end goal of reaching more people, of helping more people express their authentic self. And so we want to be, in order to reach more people, we need to be somewhat in more places and be able to have all the information in sort of in one place. So that's why we did that. And it is a business for us as well. Let's be totally honest about things. We would like to increase our income from what we're doing so that we can, pay our bills. And that's really important for a lot of people at this time. And then once you achieve the goal, what's your next step? What's your next goal? Find something else to be engaged with and then move on to that while bringing what you just learned forward into that new goal.
I want to mention something about this time of year and commitments that people choose and what they make. It's the beginning of the year. So it's very common for people, all of us, to say, this is what I'm going to do. So you sign up for things. You might be one of those people who sign up for a lot of things and don't finish it. Whatever it is that you do, think about, maybe you want to hire a coach. Maybe you want to organize your thoughts. Maybe you want to work with a planner. Maybe you want to read a book and how to get this done. But if you have things that you want to do and you find yourself like Groundhog's Day, which is coming up February 2nd, right? Like you're at the same place. Like I'm signing up and I'm not getting further, or are you muted, Dr. Energy? You're still muted.
Live streams. There you go. Groundhog Day. Great movie.
And you did that 3 times, right? So there's Dr. Energy with this love mug. I love that. So if you find that you're one of those people, this gets me. So I love that. Well, here's my gratitude mug. If we're gonna give mug shots,
we're gonna mug for the camera.
Yeah. Oops. There we go. If you're one of those people that keeps doing it and then not getting to it, think about this as a common time of year to have that happen. Or you're thinking, I'm going to do something new because, last year was a total bust, or everything changed and the pivoting that you did wasn't part of your plan. Just think about, you're not alone. You're not the only one doing this now. A lot of people do jump into something and then it sort of fizzles out. So you might want to make some choices up front. Do something slightly different, 1 degree different. You don't have to throw everything out the window and clean up and do it all different. Take your interest and lean into that and see if that makes a little bit more sense to you, because it is a common time of year to go into these, I'm going to get it all done, and then nothing happens, and maybe you're going to feel bad about it. And don't feel bad. You know what Adrienne says? Ease on up. Don't be so hard on yourself, because she talks about how she used to show off that she did the split. Don't worry about showing off. Just ease up on yourself. Take the next step. Hire a coach. Talk to somebody who's professional. Please think about when you want advice about your car or your computer, you speak to someone in that industry. If they're willing to give you the information as a gift, great, but really consider that every level of professionalism and every profession has different levels of information and different outcomes. So consider, if you want to be serious and you don't want to be in that Groundhog's Day scenario, then take the next step.
Take the next step, exactly. So let's go to number 5.
Show me the 5.
It's a very simple one. Rinse and repeat. Keep doing it. It's that simple. Keep doing it. Go back to the beginning. Start over again. What are the emerging skills? How do I get synchronous with people? How do I continue to implement the learning? How do I set a benchmark, or what's the goal I'm wanting to achieve with this thing? And then just keep repeating that. It's pretty simple, but how many of us do it?
Sometimes we don't make the time for it.
Right.
And we might have to get up a little bit earlier, or we might have to allocate our time differently. Maybe look at what you're currently doing and see, are you one of those successful people that you have the formula? Even if you do, it's going to change. Life changes. So you'll need to adapt, adjust. Or if you're one of those rigid people, not saying, but if you are, it might take you a little bit longer.
Yeah, it might.
It might.
And that's okay. Honor where you're at. That's all you can do. You are who you are. Don't measure the speed that you're moving at by the speed that somebody else is moving at. We all have our challenges. We all have those things that are roadblocks for us, which if we're in a certain place, they can look like a roadblock. From a different perspective in our life, they can be an opportunity. So how we choose to engage with these roadblocks / opportunities will determine what we get out of it. So Yeah.
There are many different types of leaders. If you're a leader and you have a style and it works for you and you're happy with it, awesome. But if you've been thinking about you want to change, you want to see something different, then we will look within ourselves to see what we're doing that we can edit or modify so that we can get different results. So if you're perfectly happy, awesome. If you're looking for something new and different, then something new and different has to happen.
Right. There's some really good research out there that shows actually the best leaders are those that are continually looking at their leadership style and evaluating how they can be an even better leader. The poorest leaders are those who already think they have all the answers and know it all. This is something called, in the research, they call the Dunning-Kruger effect. Those who actually know the least spout out that they know the most. So continual learning is really important. And that, having somebody that can help you find your blind spots is really important in your life. The reason we have blind spots is because we can't see them. Otherwise they wouldn't be a blind spot. And so oftentimes we need somebody else to point that out to us, or life is going to smack us in the face saying, hey, are you listening? Are you paying attention? And that's when a blind spot jumps up.
So you mean we could have a know-it-all leader in the house?
It happens. We've seen it. We've all seen it. We've all had experiences with those types of leaders.
Well, what about the student, right? The know-it-all person that you're working with. They just know it all, right?
Yep, exactly.
So we deal with students as well, and we are in the capacity of educators. So as we are teaching people online, it's a little bit different because we have our style and you sort of buy into that, and then you get to take the information as it's easiest and suitable for you.
Right.
And if you want a live session, a live coaching, a live tutorial, for example, because you have something that's going on and you want a little bit of a snippet of, can you tweak this with me? Well, then that's when everybody has to be open.
Right.
Because when you're receiving information, there's a way to do that, right? I can use body language. There's a way to lean in. There's a way to look at someone.
I'm reminding you, meditate.
We keep forgetting about that every week. Maybe that's going to be part of the show.
Oh.
I'm reminding you, meditate.
Yes, good thing you use the mute button there. So, being open to receiving new information is so important. So what I'd like to do, I'd like to share how we've taken these 4 or 5 attributes of a lifelong learner and we've actually applied it this week. How's that sound? Does that sound good to everybody?
Awesome. Go for it.
Okay. So I'm just going to I have the things here. So as we announced earlier in the stream, we launched our YouTube channel this week. And one of the things that is really important in that is we wanted to be able to reach more people. So the first thing was focus on emerging skills. What are some of the emerging skills? In our current climate, more and more people are going online and wanting to learn how to present online, learning how to do things online, learning where to find the resources. And we have to go where people are and use those things. So YouTube is one of the biggest places. I don't know if everybody out there knows this. Does everybody know the second largest search engine on the internet is YouTube? The first one being Google. It's actually 2 separate search engines. So we were going there and looking for those skills. The second one was getting synchronous. So we're doing lives here. We're trying to get in front of you live. And away from these live streams, we are actually having meetings with people through Zoom, through telephone calls, etc. So we are building those relationships. The third thing was implement learning immediately. Literally last weekend, I spent several hours looking at how to start a YouTube channel, how to verify it, how to upload videos, all of those things. And, we weren't going to put this YouTube channel together for a couple more weeks. And Tuesday, we just decided, hey, let's go for it. And we launched it. And we put the learning into effect immediately. So we're going to go with that. set up a golden benchmark. So we've set a benchmark for ourselves of getting 100 subscribers as fast as we can so that we can customize the YouTube channel so that when you type in youtube.com/, you don't have to put all those funky numbers and letters. You can just type in what our vanity URL is going to be. It'll be youtube.com/, and it'll be some variation of B.U.Network. Not surprising. So that's our golden benchmark. And then we're going to keep repeating it. Now we start the refining process. Okay, what are we doing that's working? Did this work? Did it work as well as we wanted? Yes, no. What can we do better? Go from there. Thank you, Ingrid. Appreciate that. Catherine, anything you'd like to add to that?
I was breathing too heavy before you had to mute me, right? I was taking a deep breath. I'm like, all right, I didn't mute my mic. You told me to use the mute button. I was like, oh, that's good. I can listen to you. I love what you're saying. Don't forget to breathe. I want to remind everyone, take a deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out. That's pretty important to do. Sorry, you want to say something?
No, go for it. No, go for it.
So as we're doing new things and putting ourselves in front of you, because we think it's important to give you value, not just to show up and chat and laugh. And it's always good to have a good laugh. We want to be able to provide, so for ourselves, otherwise we're going to lose interest. We want to be able to provide instruction for something that would be pertinent to you. So if you're following us, it's either because you love us, you just met us, you want to see if we pass the test. So it's important when you are in front of people to give value. So if we could give you something, one tip that will help you in your next meeting, in your next Zoom. We're all like this. We're all in front of the camera right now. So if we could share something that would work with you or work for you, then you might come back. So our job is to provide on every level, on all the platforms, something that is entertaining and informative that will get you to keep coming back. And think about that for yourself. Whether you have a podcast business or online broadcasting, or you're just having meetings with people, why would they come back? This week in the mail, I've received gifts from Gloria, gifts from Sarojini, gifts from Martin, gifts from Nikki. I felt like it was Christmas every day. Plus, I bought new lighting. We both bought new lighting. Every day I had something to open up. And you never know when things are going to come, but they always come at the right time. Every day I thought, I wonder what's going to come up next. So I wanted to take this opportunity to thank those of you who sent us and me gifts because you felt like it. It really makes a difference. So when you're in front of people and you want to give them value, maybe you're going to send it to them in the mail. I got this awesome card from Martin with a QR code that led me to a voice message that brought tears to my eyes. I'm just blown away by it. The things that you do behind the scenes, and when you give it to someone or we give it to someone and then they receive it, you just never know if that's the right day. So think of that and go above and beyond when you're adding value. Not just about how good it is for you and how it changed your life, but what's in that person's life that would be important for them. What did they like to know about? We like talking about hair because we did that last week, right?
So great question. Thank you for that. And Ingrid asks a question in the comments about why our cameras look a little bit different. Well, for one, we're using two different cameras. And for another, sometimes our lighting is set up a little bit differently, so that can affect it as well. And then another thing is sometimes when we enter into these digital studios, sometimes we can choose our camera and choose the setting. So that can have an effect as well. So with this particular platform, StreamYard, you can choose your camera to be 720p or a slightly lower one. So there's a lower setting now. Did you change your setting, Catherine? Yeah.
I lowered the the light coming into the room. I wanted to show Ingrid what that's like.
So now it's a little bit more pixelated than it was before. And so it looks even, I would say, poorer quality than it did before.
So you can see what's happening here. I took away the natural sunlight and I lowered the lighting.
Mm-hmm. So it all these things can play into the quality. One of the best you can get with just a webcam or built-in camera on your laptop or desktop, you can make your webcams look really good if you increase your lighting. So we have a different lighting setup with external lights, and that makes a big difference as well.
So I muted myself this time. So now I opened up just to show Ingrid. I opened up my light, my outdoor light, and I upped my lighting so it looks different based on the light that's coming into the room.
Yes. Cool.
Yeah, and it changes, right?
Of course.
I saw this great, amazing woman. She's actually on our podcast, Debbie, and she owns the company called Moya Shea Butter. And we interviewed Debbie, and she was fantastic. And I bought her shea butter, and she delivered it to my home. And I thought, well, that's above and beyond, because she drove almost 2 hours to make her delivery. So I went to meet her. I brought the shea butter up, and she said, it's really creamy. So I want to talk to you about listening skills. When someone tells you something, listen. I was one of the I know shea butter, so I open up the shea butter, and Ingrid, if you're still watching, as if I would have said, oh, Ingrid, let me show this to you. So I sort of stood up, went to show it on my camera. It's shea butter. What's going to happen to it? It was like whipped creamy butter. It dripped all over my keyboard. I'm in the middle of a ambassador call. So I wipe it. I say, excuse me. I get a towel. Sweating, man. I know that we have to record the next morning. We're doing a recording for a client of video, audio. And I know I need all my equipment, and I have to work that night at 8 and at 10. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do? I eat dinner. I take my call. I run to Best Buy. I hit up, everybody that is close to me, which is Dr. Energy. What should I buy? I don't know what you're doing, but so I walk into Best Buy. Good luck buying what you want in the middle of COVID. So X amount of dollars later, I now have new equipment. And I'm not really like the quickest when it comes to setting up technology, but I know people. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. So I know people who are fond of me enough to assist me with that. So David and I are implementing putting stuff together. Disaster, right? But we did it. We set everything up. The next day, the laptop is fine. Absolutely nothing. So the moral of the story is I attended a Rotary meeting. I met a woman. She was on our podcast. She delivered shea butter into my hand, and less than 60 seconds later, I was taking action on something that I had wanted to do in the month of January, but I did it in the month of December. She charged. That was a charge between her and I.
Right.
That is, I will never forget that. And I think we should pay more attention to those things and listen. Now, I'm glad I didn't listen to Debbie, because I wouldn't be sitting here with all this new equipment. And now I can talk about her for the rest of my life on how her shea butter, that was the most expensive jar of shea butter I ever bought. But it wasn't about that. It said it propelled me, catapulted me right into action. So be open. And I did not miss a beat. I mean, I was in the store as quickly as I could. I didn't fret or worry or think about it. It was something that needed to be done. So if you would like to attend a Rotary meeting, have your credit card ready, because you never know what's going to happen after that.
That's wonderful. So, always people always ask us, oh, what should we talk about? I don't have stories. Like, there's a simple story. Just pay attention to those things that happen in your life, the connections that you have with people. And those are the stories that we bring to our all of our presentations. It's a way of connecting with your audience. So I think that's a great place to call it a day, a segue. You know, you said taking action. So let's go out, take some action, go over to our YouTube, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell, subscribe to our channel, join us on the Zoom tonight for the Toastmasters speech contest, whatever action, go connect with somebody online, take some action today, and be you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Energy. I'm hopping on to my Rotary meeting now in about 12 minutes. So look at that.
Perfect. Have fun.
Thank you.
Ciao, everybody.